My parents demanded I give my fiancé's family heirloom engagement ring to my brother's new girlfriend a day before our engagement party. I had been with my incredible partner, Daniel, for 6 years when he proposed last autumn. It was the most perfect moment of my life. He did it during a quiet walk in the botanical gardens where we had our first date. The ring he slipped onto my finger took my breath away. It wasn't just a beautiful piece of jewelry. It was his grandmother's ring, a stunning, delicate Art Deco piece with a central sapphire surrounded by tiny diamonds. Daniel told me, his voice thick with emotion, that his grandmother had adored me from the moment she met me, and his parents had unanimously agreed the ring should be mine. It represented not just his love, but his family's welcome. I was and still am deeply honored. Daniel and I are both practical people. We met in graduate school and built our careers slowly and steadily. We share a love for simple pleasures, cooking together, hiking, and quiet evenings at home. Our vision for a wedding was similarly modest. We dreamed of a small, intimate ceremony in the mountains with just our closest family and friends, followed by a cozy dinner. We'd already started saving for a house, and the idea of blowing that fund on a single day seemed frivolous. Our parents, however, had other ideas. When we announced our engagement, the joy was immediately followed by negotiations. My parents, especially my mother, were aghast at our backyard wedding plans, as she called them. I am the only daughter, and my brother Anthony is 5 years older and resolutely single. My mother had been saving wedding clippings for my hypothetical future since I was a teenager. Daniel's parents, while kinder in their approach, also expressed a hope for a larger celebration. Your grandmother would have wanted everyone to see you wearing this ring, his mother told me softly, touching my hand. The weight of expectation settled on our shoulders. After weeks of gentle and not so gentle pressure, we capitulated. We agreed to a proper wedding, a venue, a guest list of 150, a caterer, the whole production. It felt like we were planning a party for everyone but ourselves, but we told ourselves it was a gift to our families. To help, both sets of parents contributed a significant sum. My parents gave us a generous check, and Daniel's parents, in addition to covering the cost of the band Daniel's father insisted on, said the ring was their contribution. We were grateful, though the shift in plans came with a subtle shift in dynamics. Our project was now a community project. The planning began. I threw myself into it, determined to at least infuse the event with our personalities. Daniel's mother, Evelyn, became my partner in crime. We spent weekends tasting cakes, comparing flower arrangements, and hunting for the perfect rustic chic venue. We finally found it, a beautiful old barn on a vineyard in the hills. It was us. It felt like a victory. Throughout this, my own mother was curiously disengaged, offering opinions only when they were criticisms of my choices. My brother Anthony was his usual detached self, responding to updates with a non-committal cool. Then, 3 months ago, Anthony started dating someone. Her name is Vanessa. He brought her to a family dinner, and she was a lot. Loud, opinionated, dripping with designer labels from head to toe. She dominated the conversation, spoke over everyone, and spent an inordinate amount of time examining my engagement ring. "Vintage?" she asked, grabbing my hand without permission. "It's nice. I prefer bigger stones, but it's cute." I was taken aback by her rudeness, but Anthony gazed at her like she'd hung the moon. My parents were oddly silent, just watching her perform. Vanessa became a constant presence. She inserted herself into family group chats, offered unsolicited advice on my wedding colors, beige or so last year, and generally made every gathering about her. Anthony, usually so cynical, was transformed. He agreed with her every word. I tried to be happy for him. He'd been lonely for a long time, but her energy was exhausting. I began dreading family events. 2 weeks before our engagement party, a casual barbecue at our home to celebrate with friends and extended family. The dynamic shifted again. Anthony announced he and Vanessa were moving in together. My parents were overjoyed. Then last week, they called me, their voices bursting with news. "Vanessa is pregnant," my mother squealed. "You're going to be an aunt. Anthony is going to be a father." I was stunned. They'd been dating for 3 months. But I pushed my shock aside. "That's big news." "Congratulations to them," I said, trying to sound sincere. "It's more than big, it's a miracle." My dad boomed. "Your brother is stepping up. He's going to do right by her. He's going to propose." "That's wonderful," I said, genuinely hoping for my brother's sake that this whirlwind would lead to happiness. Well, my mother said, her tone shifting into something hesitant, artificially light. "That's what we wanted to talk to you about, sweetheart. We need to ask you a huge, huge favor." A cold trickle of dread started in my stomach. "What favor?" "Anthony wants to propose to Vanessa at your engagement party," my father stated, as if announcing we needed more milk. I blinked. "At my engagement party? Mom, Dad, that's our day. It's for me and Daniel. You can't be serious." "Don't be selfish, Rebecca," my mother chided. "This is about family. Vanessa is carrying our first grandchild. This is a joyous time for all of us. And think of the symbolism. 2 engagements in one family celebration. It will be beautiful." I was speechless. The audacity was breathtaking. "No," I said finally, my voice firm. "Absolutely not. He can propose any other day. This is our one event." The conversation deteriorated rapidly. They called me jealous. Petty accused me of not supporting my brother in his time of need. I held my ground and hung up, shaking. Daniel was livid when I told him. He wanted to call them immediately, but I asked him to wait. I needed to process. I thought that was the height of it. I was wrong. Yesterday, the day before the engagement party, my parents showed up at our apartment unannounced. Their faces were set in grim, determined lines. No cheerful greetings. They walked in and sat down on our sofa, as if holding court. "We've spoken with Anthony and Vanessa," my father began, bypassing any preamble. "Anthony has chosen a ring for Vanessa." "Okay," I said, bracing myself. My mother leaned forward. "Vanessa saw your ring, the heirloom from Daniel's family. She fell in love with it. She thinks it's the most beautiful ring she's ever seen." The dread solidified into a block of ice in my chest. "That's nice," I said slowly. "It's more than nice," my father interrupted. "She wants it. Anthony wants to give it to her." The room tilted. "What?" "She wants grandmother's ring," my mother said, as if explaining something simple to a child. "And she should have it. She's the one having our grandchild. That ring should stay with the heir, the firstborn's line. It's tradition." I stared at them, my mouth dry. "That is not your tradition. That is Daniel's family's ring. It was given to me." "But we paid for your wedding," my father exploded, his composure shattering. "We wrote you a check for $20,000. That ring is part of the wedding. If we're financing the spectacle, we have a say. That money was a gift." I shot back, my own temper rising. "You gave it to us for our wedding, not as a payment for my engagement ring. Daniel's grandmother's ring is priceless. It's not a commodity to be traded. Don't you dare raise your voice at me," he snarled. "Anthony is getting married. He needs a proper ring to propose with. Vanessa deserves something with history, with weight. That silly little mountain wedding you wanted doesn't need a ring like that. You can get something else." Daniel can buy you a new one. The absurdity, the cruelty, left me breathless. You've lost your minds. Get out. My mother's eyes filled with tears, but they were tears of anger, not sadness. How can you be so cold? Your brother is giving us a grandchild. You're just having a party. This is about legacy. That baby deserves to have its mother wear a ring that signifies its place in the family. Your ring. My ring. I repeated, each were a shard of glass, given to me by my fiancé's family. It has nothing to do with you or Anthony's child. Get out of my home. Now! They left, but not before my father delivered a final blow. If you don't hand over that ring by tonight, consider our financial contribution withdrawn, and don't expect us at your little party tomorrow. The door slammed. I collapsed onto the couch, trembling. Daniel came home an hour later to find me still there, clutching a cushion. All the tears cried out. When I told him, a storm gathered in his eyes. This time, he didn't ask for permission. He called my parents. I listened on speakerphone, my heart pounding. His voice was calm, deadly calm. Mr. and Mrs. Henderson, this is Daniel. I understand you've asked Rebecca to surrender her engagement ring, my grandmother's ring, to Anthony. My father, blustering, came on the line. It's a matter of family priority, Daniel. You need to talk some sense into your fiancé. There is nothing to discuss, Daniel said, his voice cutting through the bluster like a knife. The ring is Rebecca's. It was given to her with the full love and blessing of my entire family. It is not, and never was, yours to offer. Your financial contribution to our wedding was appreciated, but it was explicitly a gift. A gift does not come with the right to loot my fiancé's jewelry box. How dare you, my mother began. Daniel cut her off. The engagement party is tomorrow. You are no longer invited. If you attempt to come, you will be turned away. Furthermore, we will be returning your check. You will have it by the end of the week. Do not contact Rebecca again about this. Any further communication will go through me. He hung up. The silence that followed was loud and absolute. Then I started to cry again, this time from profound mix of relief, heartbreak, and awe. We didn't return the check that night. We canceled the caterer for the engagement party, called our closest friends, and transformed it into an impromptu potluck. We decided the vineyard wedding was also tainted. The next morning, the day of the party, I sent a group text to my extended family, explaining simply that due to an unresolvable family conflict, our large wedding plans were canceled, and we would be having a private ceremony instead. I didn't give details, but the rumor mill, fueled by my parents' outrage, began to churn. Anthony called me that afternoon. He didn't ask about me. His first words were, "So you're really not giving up the ring?" Any last shred of hope I had for my brother died then. "No, Anthony, I'm not. Vanessa is really upset. She had her heart set on it. Mom and Dad said you'd understand." "They were wrong," I said flatly. "Congratulations on the baby, but my ring is not your concern. You've always been selfish," he hissed. "You think your little love story with Daniel is more important than me starting a real family. Fine, keep your trashy vintage ring. I'll buy Vanessa something bigger and better." He hung up. His words should have hurt, but they just felt empty. The potluck party was beautiful. Our Real friends came, wrapped us in love, and celebrated us. Daniel's parents were horrified and heartbroken when we told them the full story. His mother, Evelyn, hugged me for a long time. "That ring is yours," she whispered. "It chose you the moment I met you. They have no claim to it, financial or otherwise." The following week, Daniel and I went to the bank, obtained a cashier's check for the exact amount my parents had given us, and drove to their house. Daniel came with me. We didn't go inside. We met them at the doorstep. I handed my father the envelope. "Here is your gift. Return in full," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "Our relationship is not a transaction. My ring is not collateral." My father's face was purple with rage. My mother wept dramatic tears. "You're throwing away your family for a piece of jewelry," she cried. "No," Daniel answered for me, his hand on my back. "You threw away your daughter for one. You chose a woman you've known for 3 months and a sense of control over your own child. We are getting married next month. At the courthouse. You are not invited. When we have children, they will not know you. We will not allow people who can make such a vile, mercenary demand to have a place in their lives." My mother's tears dried instantly. "You can't do that. I'm their grandmother. You forfeited that right," I said quietly. "Goodbye." We turned and left. The finality of it was agonizing, but it was also a liberation. We planned our courthouse wedding in 3 weeks. Daniel's parents and a handful of our closest friends stood with us. I wore a simple cream dress, and I wore grandmother's ring. It felt lighter on my finger, as if freed from the weight of others' greed. After the ceremony, Daniel's father presented us with a gift. It was a framed photograph of Daniel's grandmother on her wedding day, wearing the very same ring. On the back, she had written, years ago, "For the one who sees its true worth." I broke down then in the best possible way. We used the money we'd saved from canceling the big wedding as a down payment on a charming, if quirky, old house. It needed work, but it was ours. We painted walls and fixed faucets, building our life together with our own hands, on our own terms. About 6 months later, I heard through an aunt that Anthony and Vanessa had a rushed, garish wedding at an expensive hotel, paid for by my parents. The marriage, according to the same aunt, was already stormy. I felt a distant pang of sadness for my brother, but it was like hearing news of a stranger. The bridge was burned, and I had no desire to swim in the ashes. My peace now is profound. It is the peace of a love that is respected, of boundaries fiercely defended, of a home filled with genuine warmth. Daniel and I sit on our porch in the evenings, and sometimes my finger catches a light just so, and the sapphire in my ring winks, a tiny, steadfast blue star on my hand. It is a reminder. Some things are not for trade. Some loves are not for negotiation. And the family you choose, the family that chooses you back without conditions, is the only legacy that truly matters.